Well, good morning. Somebody asked me to make a video about Ubbm, like when to get rid of it and when not to. So I thought I'd make this quick video and let's see how it goes. All right. So first of all, a lot of mail that you get will have just pre-printed on the envelope. They'll have something like this, letting you know that the postage has been paid. So there's no need for additional postage. The one on the top says standard. So if you see that, if you see standard or nonprofit or charity, then that's what it is. They're paying less to send it out, but they're not going to get the same kind of services they would with first class. The one on the bottom is first class mail. Okay, so even though there's no stamp, this is legit. And if there's forwarding that needs to be done, then it gets forwarded. Okay. Um, all right, so these stamps right here, well, there might be a stamp on the envelope, right? If there's a stamp on the envelope, you have to kind of look at the stamp. So the one on the top says nonprofit. If it says something like that, nonprofit or standard, well, that's not a regular stamp. If it's a regular stamp, it's going to say first class, it's going to say forever, it's going to say something like that, or it'll give the money amount, 55 cents. The one next to it is postcard, and you see it says postcard on it. So postcard stamps are only good for mailing a postcard. Okay, so but again, postcard stamps, forever stamps, 55-cent stamps, those things would get forwarded, okay? Metered mail. So metered mail, this is mail that's printed on the mail after the fact. So it gets packed, it gets weighed, and the amount is then printed on the mail, letting you know how much was paid for the postage. That is first class. But you'll see like up here in the corner, up in the upper left-hand corner, this is an example of fake metered mail. So this is not really metered mail, but they printed it in red. See, it says nonprofit. They printed it in red to make you think it's metered mail, to make you think it's important. You'll see stuff like this a lot. These charities will, they'll have green trim at the top of the envelope to try to make you think it's a certified letter. They'll put a fake scan bar on it to make you think that it's important, it needs to be scanned. So you got to be careful with some of these things. But again, if they say charity, nonprofit, or standard, then again, that's not first class mail. So you can get rid of it, okay? And then you've got, well, some standard mail, however, should get forwarded because they'll pay for that service. So here's some examples of this. At the top, it says address service requested. So if you see the words address service requested or electronic service requested, then that's mail that should be forwarded, even though it's not first class, because again, they're paying for that service. Now at the bottom, what I have here is an example of something that should get delivered. So this says Kathy Monroe or current resident. So if Kathy Monroe had a forward, you wouldn't forward this because it's standard, but it says or current resident. So who's ever living there now would get this piece of mail, even though it's not their name. If it says or current resident, you still deliver it, even if that person died or moved out or whatever. Okay. Now that being said, sometimes that'll upset your customers, but you just got to let them know. Sometimes you just circle that on the piece of mail if you have someone who gets upset about getting mail from somebody who hasn't been there in a long time. Okay. If the address is vacant, I would suggest that you write VAC on this before putting it in the Ubbm. Okay. So if the address is vacant and there is no current resident, then yes, you can put this in the Ubbm. But I would put vacant on there so that when the clerk goes through it, they don't challenge you on it. Oh, okay, it's a vacant. And they understand. Because they might just think that you didn't see the or current resident on there. Yeah, okay. And then that brings us to valuables. So some of these charities send out this stuff. It's not sent first class, it's sent standard, but they'll have stuff inside it. Like you'll see coins like this. Here's a nickel and a penny. Sometimes they'll put a quarter in there, maybe even $1, right? Or they'll send you these things with like pens or tote bags or socks. They send all sorts of things to people trying to get donations. So when you have stuff like that, so if you get something like that, the person has a forward or it's a vacant address, you can't really put these in Ubbm because there's things in there that have value. Even though it's not a lot of value, there's value there. So what you should do in this case is this stuff, instead of going in the Ubbm, should go to your supervisor. Okay, that's where it should go. So set it on their desk. If you have someplace in the office that's reserved for that, that's fine. But that's really where it should go. And then I guess there's someplace this stuff all gets shipped off to, and then it's donated to charity. But yeah, you're not really supposed to keep this stuff or put it with the regular Ubbm. It goes on. Now that being said, sometimes when the stuff has value to it, there'll be like an endorsement on the envelope that says, if not delivered within so many days, then return to this address. So if you can't deliver it to these people, even though it's standard, they want it back and they're willing to pay for that postage. So sometimes that happens too. But again, I would just pass that on to the supervisor if you get something like that, okay? When in doubt with a piece of mail, if you're an RCA like me, if you're not sure about something, if it should go in the Ubbm, just, leave it for the carrier the next day and they can take a look at it. As long as you don't have 20 pieces of mail laying there for them, it's fine. It's better than getting rid of something that should have gotten delivered, right? So that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me know what you think of this video. And if you have something to say about it, put it down there in the comments. Okay, have a great day. And thanks for watching.